King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. Ball is life, and that's a fact. And a baller's life, about that exact. King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. There's a time to score and a time to assist. Ain't no I in team, let the winning commence. From generation to generation, game don't stop. The new and old school got the game on lock. It's all legendary, it's all necessary. We all been all-stars before February. And after that, King and Yates, after racks. Basketball lovers through happenstance, built a bond.
Listen, they bridging the gap. They bridging the gap. They
Hold on, listen to KG one more time.
Listen, they bridging the gap. They bridging the gap. They
BTG Nation, we back in action. Here we go, episode 21, live from Dubai in the luxurious, the magnificent, what do they call it? Illustrious.
First collection, baby.
Shout out to the first collection. What's happening, people? Man, you guys know that we like to have fun, right? And we took a small hiatus for a good reason. Gave you guys a good episode last week. And we got back here safe and sound for those who concerned about the driving around here. There's a couple people that hit us and was like, yo, y'all gonna be all right? Everything gonna be good? But yeah, we are here. We are here, you know, me, Young OG, Ryan Yates, Triple OG over here, JK, Jupac. You haven't heard that in a while, but we might have a Jupac episode. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. OG, how you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
You got your bucket back.
You always had this one. You know?
Yeah, but you ain't have it last episode.
I have, I normally wear the gray one.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got messed up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, things happen sometimes.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. And then we here with a special guest, right? I ain't going to give y'all too much right here. I'm just going to give y'all a little bit. But this right here is our guy, a new part of the BTG Nation family, Berto Brown, right? I got you covered, baby. I got you covered. And so, look, I told y'all before that right here, okay, YouTubers, this next 5 to 6 minutes or so is for the audio group. The audio family, those people that listen to us every morning on the way to work, back at the crib, the ones that listen to us on Apple, Spotify. I haven't been doing a good enough job of giving y'all a special experience. The YouTubers, they see what we got, right? But you guys haven't got it. And so this is like the perfect episode, right? And this is the perfect introduction for the type of cat that we got here today, right? I think you're gonna love this one. Man, what's up, y'all?
What's happening, man? Yo,
what's up?
Listen,
y'all
got
good?
me in my zone. You started
good?
off like this. I'm in my zone.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Y'all here? Or talk to me, OG. You said you had a couple.
Man.
You said you was upset
How
about.
you not gonna have Mac feel it in the air?
Yeah.
The Phil Collins joint. How you not gonna have that?
Yeah. It was on. That's moving through quick.
And
I take that out.
Then if you're gonna throw out barbecue joints, right?
Yeah.
Cookout joints, whatever you wanna call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not gonna play Fresh Prince.
Yeah, the summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime. Yeah.
That's worldwide.
I was trying to go to a different direction and get a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? The steady B. You know, I know they ain't got the Schoolie D on there. I was trying to get a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But you're right.
Talking about the plateau.
You're right.
It's called the
I missed.
plateau.
What
Everybody go.
What else I missed? What else I missed on that?
Man, you know, we got so many classics, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Like Philly, one of them towns, man. We got so much music, man. We got the Jill Scotts. We got the music. So
I didn't get into the Jill.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't get in the Jill.
We're gonna go down. If you really get into the neo soul, we could be here an hour.
It's a wrap.
Crazy. Like just hit
Easy.
rap.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? Easy. That would be.
But we wouldn't just be here for an hour. We'd have to go step out and go somewhere. We had to go step outside and get somewhere. And so, BTG Nation, let me formally introduce our new guest here. All right, Berto Brown. And you know we always like to give somebody a title. And he gave us the perfect one, culture shifter and business owner. Okay, and so let me break down some of the things that we can put to his name, right? He is an award-winning music entrepreneur, an author, an international educator, and he is featured on the UAE Music Power List 2022. And I think there's a few other things that I missed recently too. I know there's the Emirates Music Summit. I know there's Hip Hop University. I know there's Private Equity Clothing. And I know there's Audio Swim. And there's more. You know, he holds Berkeley certifications from music business specialization. He has a fashion design specialist from MoMA. I'm not telling you the whole name because I want you to Google for the people that don't know. Public relations and media specialist, University of Colorado. And, you know, college guy and all that other good stuff. But we could be here.
I'm a geek, man. I'm a certified geek. You know
listen. But where you from?
Philly, man, all day. All day. Uptown, man. Haines Street, stand up. You know what I mean? Philly. All day. You know what I mean? The P, the H, the I, the L, the L, the Y, the P, the A is Philly.
Listen, man, but it's a lot that we can start with.
Yeah.
Before we get into let's get into Philly. Shout out to Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, man. You know, congrats, Doc. You on your way.
Hey, man. No, he done. That's go. Yeah,
he on his way.
They sent the farewell in this morning, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they gone fishing. Matter of fact, I saw Dwight Howard invite everybody to Taiwan. Dwight was calling out names and said, hey, y'all can come to Taiwan and we can all get on here and get some of this Asian money. But what's going on with your squad, man? Playoffs?
Man, I don't know, man. They ain't show up, man. Listen, and B, you're MVP, bro. You're supposed to show up. Harden, you're a former MVP, the locker room controller, man. You're supposed to show up. I'm disappointed in you guys. Maxie, shout out to you. And everybody else, man, y'all play your part. But, you know, the two guys who we needed to show up, man, didn't show up. And Doc, I mean, you know, we had this conversation a little bit off air. I'm not really a fan of Doc, man. So, you know, in the words of Wiz Khalifa, see ya.
Why y'all giving Doc that hate, though, man?
Man, you know, somebody got to get it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to get it. But, you know, like Doc lost 10 game sevens. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. When the pressure's on, you're not at if it was 1, if it was 2, if it was 3, if it was 4. But let me keep counting. 5, 6, 7. Come on, man. You can't lose 10 game sevens. You can't.
Those game sevens that he did win, you know who made sure he won them? Like Paul Pierce, KG.
But what about the players showing up?
Players got to show up.
You can't disappear.
No, I agree.
Listen, because we've all been on that side of, we've all been in that far left chair where it's like everything goes through you as the decision maker, being the head coach. But you can't make adjustments if guys aren't doing what you ask them to do the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you want to make adjustments, so now they got to change it. What you gonna do? Yeah,
man. Look, I mean, listen. It's a team ball. Ain't no I in team. You ain't doing what I need you to do. Get up out of there.
All right, but hold on.
You got 9 points. You got 9.
But hold on.
Yeah.
We talking about the pro game.
Yeah,
right.
So Harden making $35 million a year. Former MVP, had a 45 not too long ago.
And a 43. He had 2 40-point drinks.
Yeah. He had in the series.
So you take him out. Who you putting in?
Man, I'm gonna lean on Maxey. In this, honestly, in this case, I'm leaning on Maxey in this joint. You know what I mean?
But then y'all gonna give Doc heat for not playing Harden because truthfully,
no, we gonna give him heat. But we want the W. We don't care who give us the W.
You ain't getting the W.
Yeah, you can't get the W without Harden.
Maxey, I love him.
I don't know.
I love him. You're not getting a dub. Not against Celtics. Not that deep in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then both of your big guns they ain't show up.
Yeah.
So what you gonna bench both of them?
And then this,
I wouldn't. I can't bench Embiid. He too much of a presence. Yeah, I'm not benching Embiid.
15 points.
But I'm benching Harden for sure. I'm putting Harden on the bench.
But this is what the thing is, though, right? James Harden. You just prefaced it and said you are a former MVP, right? They win the first game in that series because of who?
Harden.
Right? And then where do you turn to? And then you got Maxey, who has no playoff experience, no Game 7 experience. Even though James Harden Game 7 experience is not good, he got Game 7 experience. And so then what you going to do? You throwing him out there against the Wolves in Boston, in TD Garden. Your only thing as a coach,
make big time plays.
My point. Your only thing as a coach is like having a child. Like once you throw your child out there, you told him everything to do, and then it's like, all right, I hope he just does it. But Harden been new. And then the crazy thing I'm seeing now is I saw Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. talking this morning. And Kendrick brought up the point that, look, the Game 7 is about players. No matter what
It
you
always
draw out,
is.
it's always about players.
Always is.
Right? You talk about those 10 losses that he had in Game 7s. A couple of them was when KG was hurt in Boston. You don't have KD. That's big.
Yep.
And the ones that you did win, he would say, look, Paul Pierce was the truth for a reason. He was the difference maker in between those places. So I know Doc Rivers makes adjustments.
So my thing is, look, you look at the places he's lost, right? Aside from the Celtics when KG was hurt, the teams that he lost with were dysfunctional when he got there.
Right. Clippers.
You guys were dysfunctional when he got there, and he righted the ship. The Clippers, they cursed. You know that. They cursed. You know what I'm saying?
It's a wrap.
And even with Ty Lue, who did well, right?
Right.
Guess who he's a disciple of?
Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And then now even Ty Lue is saying like, yo,
I got to get out of here.
I got to get out of here.
Listen.
So,
And all I would say is it's a pro game, especially, right? Everybody's starting to say these things. This is where people who don't know any better, they're just saying what generally fits. A coach in the pro level is not about inspiration.
Yeah.
You're not inspiring a grown man that makes 20, 30, 50, 40 million dollars, right?
Right.
That's
I agree.
intrinsic. That's intrinsic. Your job is to manage the game, manage personalities, make those adjustments compared to theirs. But how are you going to inspire somebody? I'm sitting there telling people saying inspire who?
I don't think it's an inspiration thing though, man. If you're not showing up, you got to go. Like, period. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Where they gonna go?
Not go like forever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, but go on the bench. Like, you sitting down for a minute. You ain't where I need you to be as a professional. If we as a professional, I don't care what job you in. If you're not performing your task and we got a deadline, this is Game 7. That's the deadline. If you ain't performing, look, I gotta put somebody else in this game who gonna perform.
There's certain industries that doesn't apply.
Yeah.
I'll give you one that's outside of basketball.
Yeah.
Banking.
Yeah.
When the world banks collapsed, who got paid and still kept their jobs?
The bankers.
All the CEOs, right?
Yeah.
Because no one can do what they do, supposedly, right? So if you take the stars out of the game in the NBA, all right, Doc for sure is losing his job then.
Yeah,
You know what
you
I'm
build because you build a system around them too.
Yeah.
On top of that too, and then you talk about the players that you pick up. PJ Tucker,
Yeah, that was.
he's not gonna make up. He's a good pickup for what they needed. If Harden is going to be Harden,
Yeah, if Harden was Harden.
That's the point, right?
But
And-
Harden has been a shell of himself for like the last 3 years. Like, Harden hasn't been like
Daryl Morey.
Harden.
But
You know what I'm saying?
Again,
Yeah.
we talked about management. Philly's management has been very questionable for the past say 12 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So like I look at it like I think you guys are lucky to get this far.
Man,
I don't know, man. I think we deserve to get this far. However, I don't think when you up against an elite team like Boston is an elite team. They balling. They balling.
Yeah, but
They might come out the East. They might come out the East.
might come out the East, right? But are they an elite team where they're unbeatable? And the reason
No,
I say,
they beat
The only
them
reason I
for
say
sure.
is because Embiid is the MVP.
Yeah.
If he plays like he's supposed to, he's supposed to destroy Al Horford.
Destroy them for sure. Easy.
Come on.
It should be easy. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they got to show up.
Yeah.
If he takes care of business, Harden comes to play, that Game 7 goes down to the wire.
Yeah.
But that was all about effort, though.
Yeah.
Like looking at that and watching the stuff and watching the replays, it's mostly about effort. That wasn't about anything else but effort.
Yeah.
Joel, you probably still a little hurt, a little banged up, blase. But damn, yo.
Yeah, it's Game 7.
Damn.
You got to put it on the line. You got to put it all on the
It is
line.
what it is. And
You know
so
what I mean?
I think Embiid got to get up out of there. I think for a
wanna
personal
lose
decision, Embiid got to get out of there. He has to go to a different culture because seeing Jimmy Butler.
Oh man,
Somebody
I
wanted
don't know
to
why we
spit.
got rid of Jimmy. I don't
Listen.
know why we got rid of Jimmy.
But that's and we ain't gonna harp too long on Philly because y'all is what y'all is. But
Yeah.
we got tonight my squad start off against the Nuggets and then Boston and Miami is set. So let's get some predictions before we jump off into the pie. What you got?
Man.
You gotta give us the games, how many
Listen,
wins and everything.
Man, I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Lakers and Nuggets.
I'm all right. So I'm a Lake. All right. My basketball. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, right? Because I was a Kobe fan. I grew up. I'm from Philly, right? So I
Okay.
was watching him since he went on the prime with Brandy. You know what I mean? Like, so I
Yeah.
remember that whole shebang. So I was a Kobe fan. So I became a Lakers fan by default.
Yeah, so
right.
you're a Kobe fan,
Yeah. But Lakers also, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
now. So now, you know, I'm rooting for the Lakers. I was always rooting for the Lakers and Sixers, you know what I'm saying? So now the Sixers out. I'm going to go with Boston. You know what I'm saying? I got Boston
over
in
Miami?
6. I got Boston in 6, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. And then I got the Lakers. I got the Lakers. Lakers. I don't know. What's his name?
Jokic.
No, yeah, he nice, bro. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. Like he dropped triple doubles in the 60s. Like
Yeah,
he be
yeah.
having like 60, 20, and 10. cuz, like so. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough one, but I think the Lakers gonna pull it through. I'm gonna give it a game 7 on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a
Okay.
game 7 on that.
King,
because
what
I think Kobe, not Kobe, LeBron. I think LeBron is gonna be the one that he gonna show why he's the king. You know what I'm saying? Like in that series.
Yeah. What you
I
got?
think Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. Yeah, I'm going Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
And I'm going Miami in 7. I'm going Miami.
You going Miami?
Yeah.
I
Because
Boston.
and
Right.
let me make sure I preface this. I'm picking Miami because of coaching, because of Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, Eric,
and
yeah.
and I know their ability to execute.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And then that pick up with Kevin Love at the end of the year, because now he's flaming that thing. And then Bam has picked up his offensive rhythm. And so that changes everything. And you don't have a big to go against like you did if you had to go against Embiid or Giannis or Brook Lopez in those first series. And so I'm going there. And then even with Randall and Miss Robinson keeping him off the boards. Yeah. And so I'm going with Miami. Yeah. Miami and LA.
Yeah, see, that's one thing about the Heat. They're versatile because, you know, if you see what Spoelstra did the last series, Bam became the point.
Yeah. See, look, that's an adjustment. That's different. Like I suppose going to out coach him. I think Spo the best coach in the league. Yeah, I'll give him that.
But you know, like I said, the thing that helps Spoelstra is that everybody that comes in that organization knows that he is the coach.
Yeah.
Because the man upstairs, Pat Riley's making sure like this is our culture.
And he did that, and when Braun and them
coaching's
came
important.
in, yeah, that was big.
And so, you know, when you have complete control of your bench, you know what I'm saying, you can do these things. That's why, like, if Harden was in Miami, he goes to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's not even going to Vegas.
No, he's not going to Vegas.
he don't
And
need to in Miami.
No other organization is going to send that boy to Vegas, man. Come on,
Man,
Like,
but listen, that's look, we off that Lakers. Like, and the funny thing is, everybody that's been saying Perk has been spot on or whatever. We've been talking about the same thing for 2 years, and we've been said what AD had to do and what was going to happen. But we in here for that. And so let's get in. Let's break into the pod, right? And so before we get into some things, I got a couple like icebreaker things, a couple little questions, right? And we can answer them too, right? Okay. And so my first question, right? What was your first car? Right, and I'm asking, what was that?
A Chevy Nova hatchback, 84.
Ooh, what color?
Nice, blue.
Make sure you take note of that so I can pop up pictures. A Chevy Nova hatchback, blue.
1984 joint, and I had the neon lights on the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Chevy Nova
a Chevy
hatchback.
Nova. Yeah, the blue joint. Yeah,
I got to see that.
I bought it off my man. I was in high school. I bought it off my man for $500.
Oh, that's lit.
$500.
In high school?
Yeah.
But how did that change your life in high school having a whip?
And you know.
You know what I'm saying?
But just just to put this out there, like, I was living by myself at 17. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I was 16 when I got the car.
Yeah.
I was 17 when I got the crib. So I had the crib and a car.
Yeah.
And I was a cool young boy, so I was having fun.
You was moving.
I was having fun.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun.
Ooh, 17, living by yourself, car, house. Yeah.
In Philly? But no, but King,
But no,
That's when you went?
I was in Philly for the first 6 months of that, like right after I graduated high school.
Right.
And then I went to Dell State.
Okay.
And I was at Dell State for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your first car, King?
86 Mazda GLC hatchback.
Damn, a hatchback action.
Hatchback
Y'all had the
really
extra.
right
y'all had the extra sound system in the back. Is that why y'all did it?
I had house speakers and hooked up to mine. I had a 5-speed. Yeah, anything to get that bass. Get that bass in there. You know what I'm saying?
See, I had the 2001 Grand Marquis. The gold joint, big body. I used to call her Buffy. I used to call her Buffy. Yeah, I used to call her Buffy because you had to figure out that this one a little bit wider, so you got to take the turns a little different, right? But that was we was on the road. Yeah, the bucket
Love,
seat.
though, because you tall, you had the bench in the front.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It messed me up because they don't make sedans like that anymore. They
Nah.
talk full size sedan is basically mid size. Ain't no cabin room in there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that was it. And the room and the wheel was so smooth. Like I could lean.
And that joint was like a boat. You going over the bumps. You know what I mean?
That was love. That was love.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Top 5 hip hop movies.
Oh man. Like when we say hip hop, like
You know the culture. It don't got to just be music.
Juice
but
is my all-time favorite movie.
Okay.
Juice is like hands down my all-time favorite movie. Man, so I'm a sound ghetto, but Menace to Society.
Okay.
Malcolm X though.
Yeah.
Honestly, Malcolm X.
Yeah.
What else? Don't Be a Menace on some
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
And and you know what? You know it was a good joint too on the load. I recently watched. I ain't gonna say it's my top 5, but let me not mention it. My honorable mention would be Colors.
Oh,
That was-
okay.
oh,
Come on.
Yeah,
That's classic though.
And then New Jersey Drive. I'm gonna say
Okay.
New Jersey Drive.
New Jersey Drive.
Yeah.
King, what you got?
Juice, definitely. Breaking. Beat Street. Colors I'm say Belly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. About that.
So what was my 5th one? Hip hop. Probably. Damn. So it's like 6 right there that I can name. But
Right.
probably Menace.
Yeah.
Menace. Yeah.
I'm putting it straight out of Compton in there. I'm putting it straight out of Compton in there.
That was a good joint too.
I think Juice is a consensus for everybody, right? And I'm gonna just stay in that era of like New Jack City, Blue Hill Avenue.
See,
you know what I'm
New
saying?
Jack. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm on,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm on-
Some of those different things. Of course, Boys in the Hood, John Singleton, everything. But yeah, I'm gonna go in there and then just randomly, right? A little funny one, Brown Sugar.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Right. And just keeping it right there with Brown Sugar, right? You know, Sanaa Lathan had that question. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Man, I don't since I was born, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I don't know when I didn't.
That's the
you know
Philly
what I'm saying?
thing, right?
Yeah.
They talk about it's in the water.
Yeah.
It's just in the water, right?
No, I had an older brother. My older brother 8 years older than me, man. And like I can't, you know what I'm saying? I was born in '84, and I can't remember a time when it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I ain't gonna lie, my first time it is weird from being from Philly, right? But my first time really like catching a vibe in the music was Me Against the World, Tupac. Me Against the World album. I was like, damn, this is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was different. And then I caught a Master P wave too on the low.
That's
I
love.
caught a I'm bow to bow.
You know what? I'm glad you said
Yeah.
that because there's a lot of people from up top
Yeah.
that won't admit that.
Yeah.
You gotta say, like, you may not mess with the whole catalog.
Yeah.
But there's some joints in there where you was like,
Facts.
that's my joint. Because my guy, Daryl Hardy, is from Philly.
Yeah.
And that's my guy.
Right.
We played together in Switzerland. And one of Master P's songs is what we listened to in the car before every game, before we walked in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know that joint rung off. Rung off.
In the snowstorms.
Yeah.
It's snowing. We sitting in the car, listening to Master P before we go inside.
Yeah, no, Master P was one of them boys. Like, make him say, make him say, Yeah, that was one of them joints. The video was crazy. The video had a basketball theme, too. You know? So, yeah.
This is the thing about Philly, right?
Yeah.
And I ask you that because they say things just different in Philly. And so when you think about Philly, you think about stuff like this, right? Just sitting in the hotel room. Right.
This
I
is
was
Enes?
17,
Yeah.
smoking no evergreen.
Yeah.
I had a whip that had 19s, but I kept them clean. I moved on to way bigger and better things. Half of you hoe ass niggas be selling dreams.
What?
All white, ice creams, vanilla beans. Damn,
that's one of them
though,
boys
bro,
too,
they
man.
hella mean. Just keep dick eating and boost up my self-esteem.
Come on.
Man, giving out free samples, so tell them
That's it, yeah, look.
I mean, but you
Look.
ain't the queen.
That's
He had the
hip-hop.
longest run
Yeah.
of the weed you ever seen.
Come on, look, shout out to Waze, our intro guy. He sent me that the other day. But that's the question I asked about Philly, because I'm like, yo, he floating.
Yeah.
But what we all know
That's
is
crazy.
What we all know is just that's what Philly got. Well, why is Philly like that? What are y'all doing? What's going on? But
Living.
it's at lunch, the lunch
Trying to
table.
live,
you know what I'm saying? The lunch table and walking back from the corner store, whatever. Like if you got something you feel like is a hot line, you gonna anybody that can hear it, you gonna let it go, right?
Yeah.
And so that's love, though. King, where you at with it? When you fall in love?
Man, you know,
Or even if you can't say when you fall in love, but when was that like defined in memory?
you know, it's for me, it's way back. We talking about white lines.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying I'm talking about like I'm going in a transition from like where it was like called soft rock in the 80s to in like 83, 84, where hip hop was like in the
Early,
the early stages, and you're talking about guys like Fat Boys, Run DMC, Beastie Boys, you know what I'm saying, you know, Africa Bambaataa, like the beginnings of it. And so you're sitting there, you're listening to it on the radio, and you just hear something that you've never heard before, and it's just a sounded so futuristic,
Right.
you know. And then you know they're saying words that you can relate to, and they're making them rhyme. They sound good, and it's just like from that point on, man, I was hooked, man.
That's the dope thing. So you guys know Bridging the Gap, right? We talking about hip hop, and we just went through the generations, basically, right?
Yeah.
I'm 31, just turned 31, right? And so there's a different intersection when we both got our like grasp of it. Like, all right, this is the plate we gonna pull from, right? And for me, ironically enough, right, you know the first hip hop album I heard was Doggy Style.
Word.
Damn.
Wrong. I should not have been listening to it, right? I think I was like, and shout out to my bro J-Mo. His pops had like some Rod Stewart, some like all of them.
You know what I'm saying? That's that soft rock.
And I used to clown him.
At that time, you didn't have a choice, because it was either that or you listening to the great R&B love song.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't make love 24 hours
Yeah,
a day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that soft rock is what you listen to.
And so he had that in the skits. I'm like 7. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And then you get into all that, and then, you know, of course, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
Everything Wayne, right? Like, and for us in Virginia, we got a crazy location.
Yeah.
Right. So we're only a few hours away from Philly, New York, and then the South, everything from the South, like we're part of the South too, but everything from the deep South, it finds its way up there. And so we had a deep Gucci, Boosie, Webby.
Yeah, y'all had a way, yeah.
With all that early cocaine music with Yo Gotti. Shout out to Waze, because he used to burn the CDs for me. And you can get into those joints. But then, of course, Dipset. Right, everything Dipset, especially in that Richmond area, because one of my guys Monday night, he kind of got a flow similar to that, right?
Yeah.
But from Richmond, right? And so then Wayne, of course.
What about the Clips? Did y'all?
The thing with the beach area is always interesting, right? Because we didn't even know Missy was really from VA, because VA didn't have a sound there, but Missy was so great. Everybody loved Missy regardless, right? And of course, we on the grind and want everybody on the table beating those drinks. But still, like Nas, I remember running to the rec, and it's like some of the old heads, shout out to Boz, they had I think it was Godson that might have came out there, but they had them. They was like fifth grade, and everybody was running to Sam Goody's to get the joint, and then coming back and playing it in the rec, and they was going battle for battle. It was like, yo, Nas way better than Hov. And this was young. Like, you don't have those battles like that no more. So it's like I think I got the best entrance, because I get yours, right? Historically, I get what you got coming in,
right? And
then I get that new era of that 2010 space, and then everybody's still in there. Right now, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's real weird. But you know what? Some of these young boys is really rocking though. It's some of them I'm like, is this boy from Philly right now? His name Lee Ford. Mm-hmm. But he talk Pain, like he talk that talk. He talk Philly rap. You know what I mean? But for the new generation. But I like Pain music. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, King, I ain't put you on this yet. I ain't really been on my music search like I used to. Like, I used to be a SoundCloud guy. Like, before SoundCloud got weird, to where you could really deep dive in SoundCloud and you find music that nobody ever heard before. Because it's just regular people who dope, just making their own joints, right? And so I love Sue Surf. I love Surf before the rap, right? Before battle rap.
He booked right now, though, right?
Yeah, he facing the Rico. Yeah, but I'll be out. His album just came out.
Yep.
Fire. I was listening to Kerr. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I listen to a lot of those different things, but I haven't been in the zone in a minute. Really don't have no time. Really don't have no time. But that leads us to, Berto, tell us, how the hell did you end up in Dubai?
Man, your guess is just good as mine at this point. Nah, but I came over here as an educator, man. I came over here teaching. I taught math in our lane for 7 years, six years, sorry. And that's what put me over here. But then throughout the time, back home I had like Hip Hop University. I had like things working in my favor. So I was able to really integrate with the culture here. Like as soon as I touch base, like as soon as I touch the land, I would go on YouTube and hashtag like what's happening, in the city. And I just show up, I ain't afraid to talk to anybody. One of the things about a lot of people from Philly is like, we don't like to be in nobody's face. We just like, we kind of like more reserved. And if you is in somebody's face, they acting like you, like, I don't know if you could curse on here. So
as long as you ain't calling nobody the N-word and we ain't
no, they be like, oh, you dicky. And like, you know what I mean? And that was like a thing. So I moved to Charlotte prior to, when I left Philly, I moved to Charlotte. You know what I mean? I was there for 6 years or whatever. And I just really had to unlearn everything that I learned from being in Philly. Because it was no way you're going to advance with that mentality. So by the time I came over here, I was already like not scared to talk to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to integrate quite quickly with what I wanted to do, man. You know what I mean? I was just able to make things happen. You know what I mean? So, but I came over here as an educator. Sorry, that was the
that's cool though. That's cool though, because Coach got an education background. So.
Yeah. But when you came to Alain. Did you
Did
you intend to go to Alain or
no? Man, they fooled me. Man, they hit me with the okie doke. They They was like, you going to Abu Dhabi? And they told me, they was like, it's 3 things in Abu Dhabi. They was like, it's the Abu Dhabi cities, the Western region, and Alain. But like most of the single people went to Abu Dhabi, like the city. So in my mind, I'm looking up like the apartments in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's gonna be lit. Look like it's lit. Cool. No, I got off the bus. I was on the plane. We stayed in Abu Dhabi for a week, and then they let everybody know, like, all right, you going to Alain, you staying here, you going to the West, blah blah blah. And so they hit me up with Alain. But I was like, all right, it can't be that bad. And I got on that journey, bro, and I'm just seeing desert. And they hit me with the whole okie doke because I was a single guy. I'm like, I ain't supposed to be in Alain, That's family territory. You go there when you got the family. But it's cool though, you know what I mean? At the time, man, I was surrounded by a lot of good people, but they all, like now, they all shifted, either went back home or either, moved to other places, you know what I mean? So
that's interesting when I think about that, like, because I got hit with the okie doke too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I got on the plane out here, somebody told me I was going to be doing one thing. And you know what I'm saying? It ended up into something different. But Alain is, that's a different ball game. And what year was that?
2015.
Yeah. It looked different now because my wife is from Alain. And then we go there, and I'm like, well, but she said it's a lot more here now than it was then. So damn, brother.
Yeah. I got hit with the okie doke when I'm telling you. But you know what, man? It really put things in perspective because I was able to slow down. You know what I mean? Because I was moving. Because even when I was in Charlotte, I was like every other weekend I was in Atlanta, so I would take that 4-hour drive. Like, you know what I mean? It forced me to slow down, and then it made me make calculated decisions,
Yeah.
Where if I was like just thrown into Abu Dhabi or thrown in Dubai, my decisions wouldn't be as calculated. Because I got to think about, is it worth taking this drive?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I was here,
different.
Moving.
Yeah, different because the same pace. But tell us about that pathway as an educator, though. Right, like how does that go? Because that ties in strongly with what you do with everything else. But talk about that from hip hop to education.
Right. Yeah. So I graduated like all right. So I had a weird kind of like upbringing. I went to like 5 different high schools, man. And
Mike Beasley.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was kind of one of the just lost generation type
shit. But look, share it because we bridging the gap. Because wherever you started at, it helped you get to where you are right now.
Yeah.
And then we got some knuckleheads that got good intentions to just misguide it. And so they got to know that if I'm starting this way, it don't got to finish that way.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and tell them where it was.
Nah, so just growing up, I was real active in sports. Like I always wanted to play sports. I was real good in basketball. As a 13-year-old, like the Keystone State Games was like our truth. I was like at the Keystone State Games, one of the representatives for Philly. This like in 97, 97, something like that. But anyway, I wanted to play sports. But then when I finally got to high school, I started off at Germantown, which is my like neighborhood high school or whatever. And I just got surrounded by the wrong people, man. I'm hanging around the wrong people, doing the wrong things. I stopped playing sports. I started getting into girls and other things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, my mom is a good mom, man. My mom looked out for me. I love my mom to death, man. She was like one of the best for me. So she wanted to make sure that I wasn't trapped in that environment. So we went to a different school. But I kept on going to the same neighborhood. So obviously I'm doing the same stuff just at a different school now. So it wasn't a good look. And then my mom moved to Milwaukee, you know what I mean? Then I moved to Milwaukee out there with her. Then I came back and I stayed with my aunt for a bit. And, I was a terror, man. So everybody was tired of me. They was like, yo, as soon as my mom came back, like, yo, you go with her. And then ultimately I wound up graduating from Northeast, which is one of the better schools in Philly. And then I ain't had no place, bro. I ain't know where I wanted to go. I ain't know what I wanted to do. I ain't know nothing. I just they just threw me I'm graduating high school now. You know what I mean? I had a car. I was like, you faced with that decision as a young black man. You would go to school, you would go to the army, you get a job, whatever. You got to do something. And I ain't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm just going to move by myself. I lasted like 6 months by myself, man. I went to, I got accepted at Dell State. You know what I mean? I was down there, but I still ain't had no guidance. So I still was like, what do I do? And I was like, all right, what do I got accepted as a nursing major because I was like, all right, what do I like? What do you like in school? I was like, all right, I like girls. And that's all I knew. So it was like either nursing or teaching. So I started off as a nursing major. I flunked out and I wound up getting caught up in something out there. And I came back to Philly, was in CCP for a minute. And basically, man, just kind of figuring this all out. But by the time then I transferred to University of Phoenix. But by the time I had all of these credits, but it wasn't geared towards nothing. But that's what got me passionate about mentoring, right? And wanting me to go to education background. So I wound up getting a bachelor's of business management from University of Phoenix. And then I got accepted to Chestnut Hill in the education program because my whole goal was all right, I can't have these young boys doing what I went through because it cost me so much money. Could have been so many different ways. Could have went a whole different trajectory. And it didn't have the opportunities that I could have had if I knew what I wanted to do would have been I would have been in the place where I wanted to go.
Cost you time, man.
Yeah, time, and that's the one thing we can't buy back, right? So I wasted a lot of time trying to find myself by not understanding, you know what I'm saying? By not understanding the situation I was in at the time, you know what I mean? So
yeah. That you said something that I know. I didn't even look at Coach, but I know it probably made him perk up.
Yeah.
Talk about your mom.
Yeah.
And so for us, the moms, our aunts, the mother-like figures in our life, huge.
Yeah.
And every guest that we've had on the show physically so far, every single time they've made it a point to say, my mom, yo.
Yeah.
My mom, yo. And so that's one of the things as we see a lot of, you see these videos of kids disrespecting teachers, disrespecting parents and everything. It's like everything starts at home. Like however you are treating your mom and everything else, that's going to be a direct reflection of everything else.
Yeah.
Your trajectory on life and how it goes, like that respect, because nobody got your back like your mom.
Big facts.
Nobody.
Big facts. She was just over here for 40 days, man. I had her over here for 40 days. So that was... Man. It was good, man. And
40 days.
That's love.
Damn. Yeah, that was love, and that was the most time I spent with my mom since I was 17, bro. Like we haven't spent because I was out so early, so we haven't spent that much time together ever. You know what I mean? Like as an adult, you know. So.
Shout out to Ma Dukes, man.
Yeah, I got a Duke Pop too. Like me and my pop, we got a good bond now. Like growing up, it was kind of rocky, but right now we we good.
That's love.
I mean? Yeah.
Because that's the mentorship you talk about. You probably
needed that though when I was younger.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then that's where with the culture we're building with Hoop Mountain Dubai, and even with this podcast too, we know that the importance of strong male influences and young men in women's life is you can't even put a price to it.
Right.
Like, it's called Bridging the Gap, and we're doing this because I'm not here without this man and Uncle Ro from our previous episodes. Like, literally having those two guys over top of me every time, like whether I was about to do something stupid, whether I still did something stupid, and they looked at me like, yo, I told you, dumbass. But then they still had my back and was like, look, you can go this way still. Just having that changes everything. Like,
Right.
that changes everything. That's priceless. And then allowing you to be like realistic about stuff too. Because when you're young, you don't know what it's like to really manage some bills or what it's like to really be free and cool and in your space. Like, you think you got to do what you see. He riding around with the Maybach, or he riding around with the caddy with the rims, or he got championship bottles popping every weekend at the club, and you like, I gotta go there.
Yep.
You don't know the Niagara Falls is the way to go.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is with the BS.
Come on, man, that's a little love, man. And so that education takes you to become into the route here. So how do you find here through education though? Because that's something that we really do want to know. Because we want to bring coaches. We want our coaches to be in the community.
Yeah. So with me, man, it was when I was living in Charlotte. It was a girl who worked at one of the schools. Man, she was over here for a while, and she was telling me how dope it was. So I was like, it wasn't on my radar, but it was something I knew I didn't want to be in America. You know what I mean? This is like
That's crazy.
Pre-Donald Trump, before like his got elected and all that. But I knew I didn't want to be an American. I was like, where do I want to go? You know what I mean? Because I got the qualifications to go anywhere being a teacher, right? So she was telling me how dope it was over here. I was like, all right, man, let me apply. You know what I mean? The first time I applied, I got shortlisted, but they didn't accept me. So the next time I applied, you know what I mean, I did the interview and all of that, and got me over here. Then that's when I got hit with the okie doke. You know what I mean? But
you know Coach Lenny?
Yeah. Yep.
See, look, as soon as she said Lane.
Small world, man.
Small world. Yeah, good people, man. Good people. Yeah.
Real good. All right. So from there, you talk about education. You were teaching here.
Yep.
And then you started to see a need, right?
Yeah. So number one, I noticed, all right, it's a developing country. And the music scene, like, it wasn't no Spotify here, it wasn't Ngami here, TikTok didn't exist and all of that stuff. And this was only 7 years ago, right? So it was like bringing the knowledge that I had using certain platforms back home. Because I used to work with like a lot of artists back home too. It wasn't just like I picked up and was like, all right, I'm here. I worked with like The Baby. I worked with, Batcave Studios in Philly. I worked with the Meek Mills and P&B Rocks and all of that stuff. So it wasn't just like I'm here, just, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I realized, like, all right, over here, you can fast track a lot of things, you know what I mean? Because they don't have the knowledge, you know what I mean? So I could easily put myself, not easily, let me not say that. It wasn't like a hustle. It was just like, you know what I mean? I seen the need for, like, artists didn't have, like, management or proper representation. They didn't understand the industry because you don't have certain things over here. Like, it's no PROs, like it's no ASCAPs or BMIs and nothing like that over here. So how do you like actually monetize the music? The royalties are completely different over here than how it is over there. So just understanding the game, it allowed me to find my niche a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, but how did you understand the game? Because rap and hip hop ain't like teaching. Or you ain't going to the University of Phoenix. But what were you doing that, like, what part of your story was there in the field?
The music?
Yeah, like where was that like, right? Because I always think about Wayno for some reason. Yeah. Because Wayno always talk about he was sleeping on the couches at Bean's house and he was there, and now you see him 20 years later and he's at the forefront. But he come from that Rockefeller era, just doing shit wrong, but just being the intern there. And so how did you get your education on the run? For hip hop?
For me, man, shout out my OG Biz Porter, man. Like he schooled me a lot. Like I give him a lot of credit, man, because he, even with Hip Hop University, because so he taught me a lot about music in general, like how to make music, how to create music, all of that. But he was like the engineer for what's that Rick Ross? Like I'm a Boss. Rick Ross and John. He did it like back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember Ram Squad from Philly. They had the John. Like he was he did all that. Like the that whole group, that was a part of that he was the production guy. Yeah. So he was in the game for a minute, you know what I mean? Like, and he schooled me a lot on how to move in the game, you know what I mean? But he was limited in his knowledge based on how the old way the music was working. You know what I mean? That's my dog. No disrespect to him. Like, he told me a lot. You
Evolution.
know what I mean? But the music game evolved from where it was at. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I got my start. Is through him. It's like he just put that battery in my pack and let me know I can do it.
What type of things were you doing though? Because when we talk about, we like to show the grind. Because some people like think you wake up and all right, I got it. But like,
yeah, no, I've been doing this for like forever, man. I used to rap back in the day, like everybody else. You know what I mean?
Hold on, man. Hold
everybody
on.
else in Philly.
you just heard E Ness. Can I get 4 bars?
Oh man, I don't do it no more, bro. I can't. I wish. You know what I'm saying? I wish. You know what I mean? I wish, but I ain't got it no more. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna play myself. I wind up sounding. I deep myself.
Yeah, listen.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I started off as a rapper, and then I was doing some intern work, and then I met a couple people, got into the management side of things, and then I moved to Charlotte. Like when I was managing artists still in Philly, but the artist I was working with, he kept on getting locked up. So it was like I can't really. It wasn't making no noise. I'm investing all of this time, all of this energy. I'm driving them around to here. I'm driving them around to there. We doing everything we can do, but. I mean, he needed money too, as well. Like, you know what I mean? So I can't really fault him for his mistakes, you know what I mean? But I just can't be a part of that, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I got into the management game. I moved to Charlotte, and then I started working with some artists over there. Started off with this artist named Joe Sig, who's dope. He's probably one of the best rappers, like a rapper, but he's not famous. Like, he didn't make it, you know what I'm saying, to that level. And whatever I could do to support to help him grow, I will. But, I started off managing him, and then another artist by the name of Quint Young, and then I met De Niro Farrar. De Niro Farrar was signed to Warner Brothers and Vice Records at the time, and that's who introduced me to the baby. And then, we started Hip Hop University. We was doing his tours, like his school tours and all of that stuff. And then right when he was about to pop off is when I moved over here, and I started just figuring out how to move over here.
Yeah, dope.
When you say, you talk about the artist you had that's probably one of the best MCs you've ever heard, right?
Yeah.
He just hasn't made it.
Yeah.
What do you think what do you tell aspiring rappers in terms of maybe a mistake that he maybe have made in the past not to make, or what do you think it is that may have held him back or something like that?
It's two things, man. One, you can be your authentic self. Be your authentic self all the time, but also know you're making music for people. You're not making music for yourself. So if somebody give you, like somebody who's in a position to give you advice, because everybody not in a position to give you advice on art, right? Because it's art. But in the same token, if somebody's in a position to give you advice on how to make a song better, where it could actually appeal to more people or whatever, like just listening, you know what I mean? That's one. And then two, just, going out there, man, you just got to be seen. You got to be
opportunity.
Yeah. Feet on land, you know what I mean? Your feet got to be on the land. It can't be behind a computer all the time. It can't be having somebody represent you when you ain't there. Your feet got to be on land. You know what I mean?
What's the recipe when you talk about for the song, right?
Yeah.
Uncle Ro was on here and I asked him, what do you give coaches when they need to get better at coaching? But as far as song making, what's the recipe? What's a couple things that somebody needs to have in there?
I mean, the game changed though. Like the game changed consistently. Like now it's shorter songs, right? So you can't make a 3-minute, 30-second song or a 4-minute song no more. Nobody listens to it. You know what I mean? And the way algorithms work is the more time, no matter how long your song is, the more time somebody spends on your song, if they listen to 100% of your song, then it counts better than if they listen to 50% of your song, right? So if more people are listening to your song, and the shorter your songs have to be because people have a low attention span, you know what I mean? Put in the hook first. Like right now we live in an era where, people want to just get the vibe before they even, you know what I'm saying? Before anything happened, they want to catch the vibe. So if you look at any of the most popular songs, like you hear the hook first, whereas back in the day, it was a build-up. It'd be 20 seconds before you hear a person talk, you know what I mean? Now, if you wait 20 seconds, you go into the next joint, you know what I mean? But there's no formula no more. Like, honestly, it's like the game really changed. The only suggestion I would make or tell anybody is, like, make your song short. Like, if you make your song too long, you failed already, you know what I mean? 'Cause nobody going to wait 20, 30 minutes or seconds.
You're Philly born and raised.
Yep.
In the Philly music, then went to Charlotte, got in, immersed in that hip hop community. Now you're over here. In terms of the new age hip hop, Do you think there's any regional MCs out there now, or is everybody sound like they're from Atlanta?
No, it's some dope talent. It's this young boy out here named Tak, right? He Egyptian, but he's born and raised here, right? Yeah. No,
see, hater.
No, but he all right, man. He did his joint with my man Mozzie from Def Jam. That's how I got on my radar, like, you know.
Mozzie,
not West Coast Mozzie. Mozzie is
Mauzi.
No, this is Mazzi.
Mazzi. Okay.
Yeah, he's like he works for Def Jam. He's not a artist on Def Jam.
I have seen my talk. A video of him doing some stuff before. Video was kind of dope too.
Yeah. I just gotta.
No,
he a vibe, man. Like he a vibe. I ain't gonna lie. There's a few people out here that I think got talent to make it, but I think, you know, you can't. This is a place where you gotta let your ego down in order to make it. Like, especially in Dubai, like, it's very egotistic. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm too cool to do this. No, you ain't, because you ain't make it. And it's very easy to be a big fish in a small pond, right? It's the only place you could wake up tomorrow and then you could be on Soul DXB stage, which is the biggest stage in Dubai, like, as far as music is concerned, you know, in a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other market on the planet Earth if you don't got a hit song that you're going to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But here you could do that because it's a who you know type of thing.
I mean, that's the same way on the other side of basketball, right? People don't want to do the work because they feel like they don't have to because they haven't had to. Right. And so now, how do you teach somebody? You know, it's going around. I sent you that DeMar DeRozan clip, right? Where DeMar DeRozan, Illy, hand me my phone chat, where DeMar DeRozan was talking about out of the 450 dudes in the league, like 175 of them suck. Yeah. Right? But why do they suck? Is because a lot of them don't really understand the work that they got to put in, nor do they want to put that work in. They just look at how everybody eating, and so they like, damn, I want to do that. Let me eat like that too, right? And so I think I sent this to you. Let me play it up.
How do you feel about the tweet that LeBron sent out? Bronny was better than some current NBA guys.
We do guys a lot of sorry in our league. I'm gonna be honest.
No cap.
I'm the type of dude, I keep my opinions myself. I chill. I play the backseat. But being in the league so long, you realize how many don't love the game of basketball, who take it for granted, who feel so entitled, who just want everything that come with it, but don't want to put the work in. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, we played in an era where you had to, like, earn everything. So you got so many guys coming in thinking, like, they just should be playing because they homeboy told them they nice. Mm-hmm. And it's like, bro, you're not good. So I definitely got Brian's standpoint of that because you'll be surprised.
It's a good, 450 of us? It's a good 75 to 100.
Stinks.
Good dudes though.
But that
no, then you play on a pro level, you don't stink. You know what I mean?
Nah, but when you talk, when you think, you'll be surprised because you talk about who you know
that's and better equipped to fill that position, but they can't stink.
Nah,
they can't be like me.
Nah, but but that's different though. Like, but art is the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you just talked about having to go through the gauntlet to get to your spot. Right. There's a certain amount of shows that people had to do in small rooms, right? Yeah, there's a certain amount of like hustling.
Or empty rooms.
Yeah, empty rooms. I remember seeing Dave East, and it was just 6 people in there, and I was standing right next to him while he was rapping. Yeah. Right? Like, it's a different amount of leg room. Same thing with hooping. Yep. We got some of our young bucks ask us, we still play. And Illy, when you do the video, make sure that me and King have our own highlight reel so we can show people it's different. But when we hoop with our kids, some of the young dudes that come in, we do our own bump and run type thing with parents and everybody. We have like coaching not competitive by nature.
Right.
Because we grow up playing outside, we grow up doing whatever. And so they ask us, like, yo, you and coach always got beef in the middle of the games. We're like, nah, this is just the way we were taught how to play. Like, this is how we expect our pros to play when we see them play. But they're not used to, they don't want to go through that gauntlet. But that's interesting because we did have somebody ask, and we asked them about the music, right? So where does music go from here? Like, I don't like the fact that we got to tell somebody to make shorter songs, right? Like, we gonna compromise the art for the money, but then again, we don't know how artists can make money. Snoop just talked about
Audio Swim, baby, Audio Swim.
Snoop just talked about if I have 1 billion streams, why don't I have $1 million, right? And so, like, kind of tell us how you can make money in this, and then I'll have the follow-up question about like, do we have to compromise the art for the algorithms?
Or are you, all right, so art is subjective, right? Like it's all up to the individual. But there's ways you could go around it, you know what I'm saying? As far as monetary wise or whatever, like we don't own our music the way we used to own our music. You don't go to a record store and purchase the record, you know what I'm saying? You go to Apple Music, you go to Spotify and you stream the song. But if you didn't pay your streaming that month or whatever, you ain't listening to no music that month, you know what I mean? So we no longer own the music. And this is why I got into like the NFT space, like the music NFT space is actually to help artists actually sell music, you know what I mean? The thing that's stopping the takeoff for that is like people not hip to the blockchain stuff yet, you know what I mean? And even me, like I'm not like, cause all right, when you think about it, you think about cryptocurrency, right? Like most people think about blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs, and they put them all in the same box, but they're completely different. Blockchain is just the technology, and NFTs are something that runs on the technology, but it really has nothing to do with crypto. Although you need crypto to purchase it, you know what I mean? As of right now. But as technology continues to advance, like you'll have the opportunity to own like the NFT, a music NFT, and that NFT is now an experience, right? So you could create an experience that you can't get on Spotify, that you can't get on Apple Music, that you can't get on TikTok, and you could create something that's unique to you and your fans, right? So that's one way to monetize music. Secondly is like live events, like actually like live events, like performing in front of people and making that digital as well. So you could do a live event in front of people and then charge people on like
Patreon
online, you know what I mean? Like Patreon or Audio Swim as well. Like we have something that you can actually purchase like a live stream joint. And then
can we live stream the pod?
Yeah, word.
Right,
like do an NFT live stream.
Say that.
Yeah.
We put that. Don't worry.
Yeah. But it's only going to be limited to like your 10 main supporters.
Don't worry.
They got it.
Yeah, we gonna get it.
But and then another way that you do like merch, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of like what you guys doing with Hoop Nation is like the merch.
Hoop Mountain.
Sorry, my bad.
No, we good.
But yeah, with merch, that's the key. You know what I'm saying? Like the key, one of the key revenue drivers. And then we do something called royalty investment, right? So like actually having your fans invest in you, right? So if you know how you used to say SoundCloud, right? When you was on SoundCloud, and you find somebody like you was trying to tell everybody, yo, this boy hot, this gonna be the next one. Imagine having an opportunity to invest in that artist, you know what I'm saying, before he blew up.
That reminds me of like what La Russell doing.
Well, I don't know what he is.
La Russell is that type of guy.
Oh yeah.
From the Bay Area, and he'll let you decide how much you want to pay for the album, or how much you want to pay for the ticket, right? And it going off like that. He don't even use any type of management or booking agents to get to his venues and stuff no more. So he like X all that out.
Yeah, cut out the middleman.
Yeah, so he getting a whole different type of bag, right? And so, but that's the part of where it's like, I think the evolution of hip hop is dope. Is that if you really pay attention to the technology that you have, you can really find a way to get out of that chokehold that the execs and things have of you. Right. But on the flip side, it's so much of the tech makes it feel like you got to play music towards algorithms. Right, you got AI coming to where they say
you're using those systems, right? That's when you're using your Apple Music and TikTok. So once you get the NFTs, you're not using that same situation. You're making your own situation.
Yeah. And talking about how you can make more money off that. Like you can only sell 10,000 records and make more than you would if you had sold 1 million on Apple Music or Spotify.
Fact.
Right? And so like understanding that, where like the mentorship you gave me when we talk about how much money somebody thinks they need to earn to live a good life, until you get an OG around you to be like, listen, that's 75,000 and you do this, this, and this, and you chop it up this, and this. Now look at what you got, right? It's a little bit different, right? You just dividing up the shares different. And so talk to me about talk to the listeners about what Audio Swim is and where it's going to go.
Yeah, so basically, man, we want to be a one-stop shop for all your musical needs, man, like just to be straightforward. Right now, we currently offer like distribution. So we still use your Spotifys and your Apple Musics and your TikToks and Angamis. We distribute to over 150 DSPs. which is digital service providers. So we still use those, and then we offer like the royalty investment thing. So actually, the discoverability that we have, you know what I mean, where you can find like the next artist that's going to take off and put a bag behind him, so that person can eat right now, and then you eat with them. Whenever they eat, you eat. You know what I mean? So doing that, as well as NFTs, you know, like the NFT space, and then we do music consulting as well. So we make sure that artists are like geared towards doing the right thing with their music, because a lot of people have no clue about how to release music, like the strategies that go behind it, like getting people, because people want to drop an EP, right? They don't have not one song that took off, but they want to drop an EP, which makes no sense. Like, who you dropping an EP for? Yourself? Like, you know what I mean? 80 is about, I think is not 80, that might be too. I think it's like 50% of like Spotify songs has 0 listeners. 0. So how do you, like, that means you're not even listening to yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you got 0 listeners. So that's like the game that we playing, is just like, it's 100,000 songs being released every single day. So the game you playing, you up against 100,000 people with no strategy. You know what I mean?
So they just in the way.
It's just in the way.
Yeah,
it's too much clutter, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to have a strategy. So we offer consulting for that. And yeah, pretty much live events as well. So we like book artists and all that stuff in the region too.
And how did you end up getting into that audio swim space though? Because you said at first you tried to work with local.
Yeah, I try to work with a few local acts. But you know, you do a lot of work and there's no monetary reward. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to eat. You know what I mean? And I'm coming from my lane, so my gas ride is like you know what I'm saying? Sure. My gas there and back is like crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I got to eat, and I'm eating healthy on the road, so you got to pay for that time. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm working with all of these local artists, but I did a lot of stuff for free just to kind of like get my name out there. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's one of the, you know, the game you got to play when you come into a new market. You know what I mean? You just got to play the game a bit. But now I feel like I solidified my space in this market, and I'm working with like more of the international acts versus like the local acts. And there's no disrespect to like none of the local acts. It's just that, you know, I'm playing the game on a level. At this point, I'm playing on the game on a level where we trying to monetize everything. And if you're not trying to monetize seriously, or if you don't connect with your fan base, or if you don't want to listen, or if you don't want to have these conversations, like these hard conversations, then
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, it is what it is, you know. But there's no disrespect to them. I think some of them are dope. It's just that from a financial standpoint, we just got to make it make sense.
I see you itching to say something.
I'm just sitting here listening to you, and I'm just wondering, like, why wouldn't somebody that's a local artist, that's maybe they've been grinding 4 or 5 years, and someone like you comes along with other opportunities to, you know, to give them exposure? Why wouldn't they? Is it do you think it's a mentality of entitlement a little bit?
People don't want to face hard truths, bro. People don't want to look in the mirror and be like, damn, I could have, you know what I'm saying? This could have went another way if I would have did this. They want to think that they got the magic formula, but if they had the magic formula, they will already be in a position that they want to be. You know what I'm saying? So is facing those. 'Cause I'm gonna give them a reality. Like when I have a conversation with an artist that I really like can talk to, I'm gonna give them a cool reality check. Like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? I can hear a hit. I can spot a hit song. You can. Everybody, we got ears. If we vibe with it, it's going to be other people that's going to vibe with it too. But if ain't nobody vibing with it for real, like, but it's so many yes men. There's a lot of yes men. People keep a lot of yes men in their circle. And that's how you have a lot of one-hit wonders. So even if you do get the one hit, you got everybody in your corner saying, yeah, this is hot, everything you drop, knowing damn well you ain't going to probably listen to it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's frustrating as hell though, man. Because when you think about it, like, hip hop, that's what makes it tough about hip hop. It's so easy to get into now. Yeah. It's like super easy to get into. So everybody that can have access to something that records any type of music, you can make your own garage band type of beat, and you get on there. It's like, hey, I'm an artist. But I think I remember telling the DJ that hoops with us, and it's like, maybe we should have some more gatekeeping in hip hop, right? You know, we're here in Dubai and GCC, and they have some gatekeeping to their culture. We're still welcome to their culture. We're still allowed to do everything.
We're welcome to pay our money.
Yeah, we're welcome to do all that. But before you get in there, like, you really got to have some type of respect for the game. Yeah. So for those who don't understand that, like, Hove and them, like everybody that you like, they really had to go through something. And even if we don't go back there to Hove, that era after where we talk about, well, for us, the Mount Rushmore era of Wale, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Big Sean, and all of them, that's still a very, very, very hardworking student of the game type of era.
Right.
Student of the game type of thing. So like, how you even know where you're gonna go next if you ain't really sat down and planned it out? Like,
yeah, I don't understand how artists don't know. But right now, like, you know, I don't even focus a lot on hip hop anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that
of
hurts,
course,
don't it?
no, but I still rock.
I understand why though.
Yeah. But you know, right now the trend in music is Afrobeat. You know what I'm saying? So
Which is beautiful. Though.
Yeah, it's a dope vibe. It's still all stems from the same roots. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It all stems from the same roots. But in the same token, is the genre of music that's taking, you know what I'm saying, the diaspora to new heights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm vibing out with right now. You know what I mean?
Is that more so regionally here or everywhere?
It's going to be everywhere. Like right now, trending wise, it's going to be everywhere. So the MENA region is the fastest growing region in the world. Like musically, is the fastest growing region. But Afrobeat is the fastest growing within the MENA region. So when you look at it from like a trending perspective or whatever, then it has no choice but to, you know, keep growing. And even right now, if you listen to some of the songs back in the States or whatever, like it's going crazy. Like Afrobeat's going crazy. Like Afrobeat just did a song with Sukahana, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's called Casamigos. That's like,
Listen, I want to say this on air. Wale was the first one to introduce the Afrobeats in 2014 or 15 or whatever.
Yeah, WizKid and all that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Wale did a whole album of it, but they never gave him no love. You know, that's one of the reasons why I came on here that one time and I was like, look, Wale is Drake, it's Kendrick, it's Cole, and then it's Wale. It's artistry, everything else. It's just that people, you know what I'm saying? People, whoever else, don't attract to him or they don't market him a certain way. Maybe because he don't have a girlfriend and to put together with it.
Wale don't listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that
Probably.
DC. Wale don't listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was his problem.
I believe it. Yeah, but he couldn't listen to get out of DC though. Because what do you see out of DC besides Shy Glizzy,
No,
Light Show, trying to, you know, different things. But speaking of that, right? Because Monday night, who I'll pass you some of his music, was my college roommate, Fire. He just did some stuff with Alchemist too, I think, and he got a crew I call it the Sharks, right? Can that audio swim be beneficial to artists back in the States? Because you talked about how the way you make money internationally off a record is different than how you would at the crib. So like, how can everybody benefit and eat?
Yeah, so with international artists, is like obviously it's like the consultant base and is looking at the data. Like I'm a data guy. Like I look at all of the data and I analyze the data. I figure out which trends is happening with the people that's listening to your music currently. So this is another game that like a lot of artists play, is like they play the fake numbers game, right? So they buy their followers and they buy their spot. And then when I'm looking at the data, I can tell that none of this is real, but how can I develop a plan for you if nothing is real, right? So it's like, that's the hard part. So as long as they got authentic data, I don't care if it's 0 followers, 1 follower, as long as it's authentic, we could develop a plan to help you grow as an artist for sure.
Listen, the crazy thing is that they ain't the only ones buying follows. You got basketball academies. You got these like a lot of the people that we look at, they're buying those followers, King. Those ain't real.
What?
Listen, man, the podcast stuff too.
Yeah.
Like people paying for them. You know, matter of fact, let me read you a DM right now. Let me read you a DM right now from a company that says that they can help us grow Hoop Mountain Dubai, right? I get these all the time, right? And they tell you how many followers you can get based on the amount of money that you want to pay.
I've seen those come through to the company from my own.
Listen how it starts, right? Howdy do. Look, I'm not making it up. How it start?
Howdy do.
Howdy do hoop. Are you interested in growing your Hoop Mountain? Do you need followers, likes, and views? 1,000 followers for $10. 2,000 followers for $20. All the way up to 20,000 followers for $150. We can add views for $50, 100K views. We can add likes for 10,000 likes for $50. And they do the same thing for YouTube and everything else. And so that's what, because I do all the marketing for us. Right. For Hoop Mountain and for the podcast. And what made us switch to that direction after a wild, melee of things was when we got to these meetings, realized people didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't know nothing. They were just telling us to go hire influencers for stuff with no strategy, not understanding what we needed, right? And then I remember meeting with a shoe company because I was like, yo, we can help y'all because y'all can help us. They had 13,000 followers, but they would get 30 likes on their pictures.
Don't make sense.
It don't make sense, right? Right? It don't make sense. And so that's why I always say to people, like, we got 1,400 real people.
Yeah.
We got 1,000 plus real people. Like, if we got 100 views on our podcast, we got 200 subscribers.
Right. And see, and that's key, because now you got something that you got. You know, it's somebody behind the headphones. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody behind the computer. It's not some made up, you know what I mean? And that person has an opinion, and you don't even know who those people are. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yeah. It never dawned on me that people would do that.
Yeah.
Listen,
oh, man, it's big.
I never put anything past people, you know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's
big. People, you know, now you could buy the blue checks legally, but it was a point where people were buying like the blue checks and acting like they, you know, it all comes out, man. You can see if you click on their likes, right?
Yeah.
Why would these people from this particular country following you and you?
And they got these weird usernames, a bunch of numbers and stuff. But it's a dirty game. That's half the time, because you know you be sending me, because some stuff comes to you and you send it to me and I don't even reply to it, because I'd be like, I ain't even gonna have to tell them like this stuff is nonsense, right? But that's exactly how it be. But considering that, right? Crazy. Let's get into Hip Hop University.
Yeah.
Because where it all ties in is what you started with, and that was having an impact on the youth and mentoring. And right, like, talk about kind of how that started in the U.S., how the struggles you had doing it here, and then maybe we can come up with something to figure out how to get it popping again.
Yeah, man, I'm down. So I used to, when I first got to Charlotte, like, I'm very passionate about mentoring, just because, like I said before, man, I just needed a mentor in my life. You know what I mean? I didn't have it, so I want to be able to be a mentor for somebody else. So I worked in this program. I think it was called Emerging Leaders Mentoring Program with Reginald LaRoche, who eventually became the co-founder of Hip Hop University. So we worked together, and then we found out, like, all right, what's the one thing we have in common with the youth? You know what I mean? It's hip hop, it's music. You know what I mean? So the next summer, we started our own program, which became the Hip Hop University, and we had it in one of the high schools over in Charlotte, and it was the overwhelming, like, positive response, right? And then, you know, it just started to grow from there. So we like to use the term at opportunity versus at risk, right? Because if you look at something as an opportunity, you look at it as a positive. If you look at it as a risk, then you automatically saying it's too bad, you know what I mean? So when we're dealing with people, words are very important, right? So we want to make sure that our youth are looked at as at opportunity people. And so we took that, like, whole concept and just kind of, like, flipped that to the hip hop spill. And we had, like, rappers come in, we had DJs come in, entertainers come in, just kind of, like, talk to the kids, because when they hear it from me, you know what I mean, they like, man, who you, what you got, how can you tell me this and you standing in front of me doing this? I don't want to be you when I grow up. But when they hear it from, like, some of their favorite rappers, they like, oh, you know what I mean, he telling me it means something, you know what I mean? So we just understanding, like, the mindset, and then breaking down some of the lyrics, and then putting actually the whole, I guess, education behind it, because we had a curriculum that was aligned to the Common Core as well. So we had math, we had English, we had science, we had gym, we had public speaking, you know what I mean? We had all of that tied into the curriculum that was all based around hip hop, and with the rappers and DJs and all that coming in to help us teach the course, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
So that was, like, how it got started and why we started it. And then when I finally, like, when I was trying to come over here, the laws are completely different, right? There's no, like, we can't talk about we can't talk about, like, some of the things that we're able to. There's no freedom of speech in the same way as a freedom of speech back home, and there's no shot at the country. I love this country, like, you know what I mean, for real.
Sure.
But it's just different, a different way of operating. So it didn't work the same way. But 2 years ago, we were managed to do a partnership with the city of Philadelphia, Philadelphia Citizens Diplomats, and then the schools over here to do a virtual foreign exchange program, like, during COVID, which was, like, it bred new life into the program. And then we ran, like, little situations over here too, like, but then that particular one, we were able to bring students over from to Expo 2020, which was, like, cool to see, like, some, you know what I'm saying, Philly kids, like, just enjoy, like, Expo. They, you know, we think of Dubai, they never thought they would be in Dubai. You know what I mean? So that was dope.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And then for Hip Hop University, man, I would love to see what we could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. Like we got access to everything music related. If y'all have any kids that's like wants to be involved in music, like for sure.
So I like to do this, right? I'm like that one uncle that comes to your house and he always leave with something.
Yeah.
Right? And so I always ask for something, right? And so Hip Hop University specifically, because we got a lot of different young men and women, and there's a group of guys that I know would, because we see our kids come in all the time with their headphones in, and then we always make it a point to ask them what they listening to, just to catch the energy from them. And so we do our vlogs for Hoop Mountain, and we like to do different things, and we got some things to where we're taking some of the older teams out to do some team bonding things and stuff, and so. Right here on the pod, right? I want to ask you, can I bring a group of kids to the studio?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
Word is bond?
Word is bond.
Look, we locked in. We're gonna get a group. We're gonna take them to the studio. We're gonna break them up in teams and make them make a song.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Listen,
that'd be dope.
And then take it from there. Because number one thing is we do podcasts because we like to show the layers of who we are, and we like to show that basketball is a part of a whole culture. Because a lot of times people go to these basketball programs and they really just miss out on the complete experience. As you talk about the NFT, like you come with Hoop Mountain, you're going to understand who we are on the court, right? Which is a different persona. It's discipline, no nonsense, but you're going to have fun. But then off the court too, is like we want to hear about, we got one of our young guys that's boxing right now.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to be front row. I'm going to get my mink. I'm gonna be right there. Like, because you started with us, we saw you grow and everything else, and we knew that you go here, but we knew basketball could help you grow in confidence. Now I see you knocking kids out, right?
Yeah,
we got
dope.
kids in the plays, we got kids that play piano, we got all types of stuff, and then our parents come together, and so being able to partner with people like you. In Hip Hop University, and then Anissa, who I think you and her, you guys align too, because she's trying to get kids off of screens and into doing stuff, and art is one of those things.
Right.
You talking about in LA and in Abu Dhabi? I know she got some people that some kids that's into music, and like putting y'all together, it changed because we need to be a strong force to where we don't have to ask anybody for anything within our network. We can call and press a button, because I know, like Coach and I, you've been pointed in a lot of directions to guys who's supposed to do something and they can't really do that.
To be fair, like from my standpoint, I think it's the lack of knowledge from other people's point. You know what I mean? Other people's point of view. It's just they think that everything. I had people think I'm a DJ. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't know how to turn the joint on. Like, DJ. So it's the lack of knowledge sometimes. So they might just look at you like, all right, sports, basketball,
and that be where they fail.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like, it's so much deeper than that. And
right.
So now with Audio Swim, what is that going to look like in the next 5?
Man, hopefully we be the leading distributor, you know what I mean, on and off the blockchain. Like that's the goal, you know what I mean, to be the leading distributor on and off the blockchain.
Yeah. And now the blockchain, King, we talked to I heard somebody break it down to where it's kind of like crypto, the blockchain, NFTs, they kind of like work all together. Yeah. Right? Because it's like internet, like Wi-Fi, like GPS. Like you gotta have all of those things to have one. You gotta have Wi-Fi to be able to have this and that, but they all work together, but they work separate types.
Yeah, they
and so
individual.
Yeah, and so I'm glad you brought this up too, because it's exhausting for me.
Yeah.
Because I do read and look at it a lot, but I don't like things that I can't tangibly hold.
Right.
Like, especially you telling me it's a certain type of value. If I can't hold it, I don't care. And everything, all the monkeys and all that other stuff
that's a fad. That was like something that's going, you know what I mean?
Gone, right? Yeah. The Bitcoin stuff. And so I'm glad you brought that to our attention. And you may not know everything, but you sound like you're in the rooms with the people that do.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm gonna do some check-in, and we're gonna figure it out, because I do think it's important to find a way to get into that digital currency.
Yeah, it's the wave to go. You know, yeah. I'm not sold on crypto at all. No. Like I'm not. I got my little stuff, but I don't really think that crypto is what it's too much of it. It's too much of it. Something got to give, right? So it's only going to be like one or two that's going to maintain value over a long period of time. You know what I mean? The NFTs, when they first started, it was a fad, like a Bored Ape and a monkey, and people, you know, paying all this amount of money for a monkey that has no value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now people realize the value is in the community that you create, right? And that can happen on the blockchain in the way that it can't happen in Web 2.0, which is like where we at now. We at Web 2.0 now. So when you talk about like Web 3, that's when you got the blockchain, your metaverse, your AI, all of that kind of stuff. And like that's where we at right now. And if we don't embrace it, you know what I'm saying?
Behind.
Then we get left behind because it's not going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere.
So,
you know what I mean?
And so, OG, you know, this summer I'm gonna be plotting on how to do everything, and that is something that I want to make sure we put together. Because you said Audio Swim is all purpose.
Yeah.
We're going to be the first podcast to figure it out.
Let's do it.
Because we know podcasting is projected to increase like 500x. Right, even in Dubai right now. I told OG before, I knew because I'm Joe Budden and all those other type of people I was listening to before we got here.
Right.
But I knew how it was so untouched at the crib. And I was like, oh, so I better hurry up and start it right now.
Yep.
Right. And so by the time these things get popping, we'll probably be a mainstay in this.
Yeah.
But I know it'll be time to just switch something up. And so we'll figure it out. But now my second ask, Audio Swim. Can we be that first podcast situation that gets you into that content creating space to where we find a way to stream, monetize, and do all that?
Yeah, for sure. Like we got the live streaming, you know what I mean? Like now, and it is going to be geared towards like 10 individuals who are willing to purchase like the NFT for your live stream, right?
Yeah.
So, but they got to purchase it in the NFT. They can't purchase it with like physical cash just yet, you know what I mean? But yeah, for sure.
We're gonna figure it out.
We can definitely lock in on that. So like,
that's dope. That's dope. We're gonna do that for sure, man.
And that's something that we haven't even really utilized like that because honestly, man, I'm still, just to put this out here, if we got anybody that's looking for investment, you know what I mean?
Oh, listen, you saw the Anissa episode.
Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking for an investor. We bootstrapped this whole thing, man. Like, for real, I'm 90K deep in my own money, like USD. Like, you know, it ain't a lot, but I was able to do what I can do with what I had.
That's a
you know
lot.
what I'm saying? Yeah. For my own money.
And it's yours.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if it was $90,000 or $9.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
You're investing in yourself.
For sure.
It's a lot.
For sure. And I believe in it. Like what we got, what we offer, nobody else can offer. Nobody could touch what we can do, especially in this space. The key, what we do versus somebody like Distro Kids, CD Baby, TuneCore, is they all states-based, so they taxed. So you get 30% that's automatically taxed before it even touches your money. I'm based over here. We ain't got no tax. We just take our 5%. The rest, 95% is yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we definitely need to talk because I need to get my man on. And so what do you need? Talk to the camera. Like you need interns. You need what?
Listen,
like everything.
Right,
Tell us
right
all
now,
of it.
I ain't gonna lie, man. We just need some money.
Yeah. Facts.
We need some money. Honestly, you know, the investment would be really, really, really beneficial to the investor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like our P&L sheet and our projections and all of that, man, is crazy, man. We got like 6 times, like you'll get 6 times within 3 years.
Nice,
You know what I mean?
nice. Well, now what will you need from the culture around here for it to grow? Like what type of things do you need? Because what we're trying to do is trying to be a platform that we can partner with and we all can grow together. But what type of things would you like to see the culture embrace and influx some new energy with around here?
Honestly, man, you know, it's going to grow. I always look at it from the country is young. You know what I'm saying? So the music industry is young, and the more people that come to make an influence and impact the city, you know what I mean, then the more it's going to grow regardless. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen. It's just going to take some time. We can't rush it. You know what I mean? Nothing. You know, Rome wasn't built overnight. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. But embrace the you know, the fact that it's one of the most traveled cities in the world. You know what I mean? Like, embrace the people that come over here, because that's what we do, and that's how we, like, I was able to love. And I got, like, shout out my man Mackie from Mackie Entertainment, too. That's my guy. Like, we partnered up on a lot of stuff, but I was able to partner with him, and I automatically jumped into, like, some of the hottest artists in the game, like, for real, like, doing stuff with them automatically off rip as soon as I started working with him. Like, the first artist that we actually did, like, a real run with was Rimmer. Like, that was the first artist that we launched Audio Swim with. Like, as a case study, we didn't know what we was doing at the time, But Rema now has that song "Calm Down," right? It's like you can't go nowhere without hearing it.
Yeah.
And that was our case study.
That's
You know what I'm
love.
saying? So that was like, shout out to Mackie, shout out to they whole team, like Rema and all of them.
That's love. That's love. That's love. OG, you got anything you want to drop in?
Nah, I mean, I'm just sitting here listening to you guys talk back and forth about this cryptocurrency and NFTs. And all that stuff. I'm just trying to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Because this is for an older guy like myself. You know, almost like the guy that you said that was your mentor.
Yeah.
You know, our space was early on, and things have changed a lot, and it's changing rapidly. So you know, we talk about bridging the gap. Like this is good for me because you guys said a lot of stuff today that I had never heard of before, and stuff that I go and research. You know, and it bring me up to speed a little bit. And you know, of course, I ask questions all the time with Ryan. And you know, once we get contact, I'll probably be asking you some stuff too. So this is good for me. So a lot of times when this stuff that I don't know, I sit back and listen and try to be a sponge, man.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about though, bro. Like honestly, I mean, I'm in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? I learn something new every day. You know what I mean? When I sit in the rooms, because I'm in some rooms now, you know what I'm saying? I'm I'll get here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? And I'm the same way. You know what I mean? I'm just soaking it all up. Just getting as much information as I can, man. You know what I mean? Man. But it's here to stay.
To that just point where you just said sometimes you're in rooms, you be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Now, the ironic thing about that, right? I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and he had an intro of a woman saying how she was in rooms with a lot of billionaires, and then she looked at them and she'd be like, this guy is the one that we supposed to be taking advice from? Like, and I finally see him. And I go back to when in college, where I went to college, I was big fish, small pond type thing. And one of my professors, right, we got real close. Like, I'm talking about I'm in her will. Like super close. And she kind of encouraged me to be what they would call an intellectual academic. She was trying to push me to be a professor. She was telling me like, just be you in these spaces, right? Don't feel like you got to be this, you got to be that. Like these people are not who you think they are, and you're supposed to be right here, right? Sometimes we talk ourselves off a ledge and move ourselves, right? OG says it all the time. He's like, I'm not the business guy that these guys are supposed to be, technically speaking. But I'm like, nah, OG, like, they ain't that. You know, the thing is him. He's not him, and she's not her. And so what I was thinking is like, sometimes we really, really, really overestimate other people because reputation. And that's what basketball taught us. You know, there's a certain time where in high school or a lot of teams that I played for, we knew we had the mental edge just because of our reputation. Right. Just because when we got off the bus and what people heard about us, that gave them enough fear to do things. It's like, nah, we supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we supposed to be doing. But
and that's something, like, just speaking to that point, that's something that I had to give up, because I was like, damn, I got imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be like, damn, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
But I'll say it's not the fact that you sit in the room and you say, maybe some people might be a little intimidated that, you know, they rub shoulders with certain people, whatever. It's just respect. Yeah. Because you respect that whether or not somebody belongs there, or maybe they may not be what you thought they were, we don't know how they got there. Right. Some people got there on the grind. Some people got there, had stuff handed to them, but you just respect the position. And that's, you know, when you're raised right, you know, you've been mentored right, or you've gone through certain trials and tribulations yourself, you respect that. And so, you know, you just say, I respect the title.
Facts.
You know,
it's true. That's love, yo. Man, I feel like we could sit here for hours, right? Right? But man, I got something for y'all. All right. I got something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is a hometown type of energy right here. And so I was in the mall today with my wife and the in-laws and her cousin that came in, and I saw something that just reminded me of the crib, right? And so I got right here, a little Garrett's popcorn, Chicago mix. You know what I'm saying? I got a bag for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Made today, real fresh. A little snack on the ride home. You know what I'm saying?
Just so you know,
Illy, I got something for you too, man.
I'm only getting something because you're here. I'm telling you, this cat wouldn't give me anything. I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? We 15 years in deep, man. That's how you gonna treat me, man?
So everybody got a lemon in their glass except me. You notice that? You know what I'm saying?
He poured a glass though.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, but I could have had lemon water too, right? Huh? But I just saying, you went outside for about 30 minutes.
Look. He had to go. And so, listen, this is before I've got. So I was telling Illy, right, because we about to get on our way out of here. I was telling him on Sunday morning. Sundays we got a long day training wise. We in the gym from like 8:30 till 10 o'clock at night.
Damn.
Like doing hustling, right? And so he at the crib, he riding with me, and I was like, the difference between what you see in the UK with black people and what you see with us is really, really strong cultural like traditions that we just have unspoken, right? And so he's like, what you mean? So I started playing music, right? I said, when I hear this on Saturday morning, I know we're cleaning the whole house.
Oh yeah.
right? It's some Anita Baker. There's something else. You know you cleaning the whole
Whenever
house.
you hear the loud music at 9 a.m.
Yeah, you know.
See, we talk about bridging the gap, right?
Yeah.
You talking about Anita Baker, right? Think that's your mom,
Yeah.
right? My mom. You got people like Mahalia Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So
But-
the house is being
and my mom come from that era too, because she's from the South, Southern Virginia, right? And so she got the spiritual QCs, the Canton spirituals, some on gospel, right? And so we were Muslim, but I was telling him like it's like what we do as a community, as a culture. Well, I played some Kirk Franklin for him
Right.
prior to that.
Yeah.
And he was like, dang. I said, don't listen to the words. Don't listen to the other, but just listen like,
No, it's cool,
this is,
man,
This is how we galvanize.
Yeah.
Like, this is just different. He's like, I said, this is why our walk is different. Our
Right.
talk is different. And like our bop is just different because of that, right?
Right,
And this is
right.
what culture looks like right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so the way we end every podcast is the way you end every game, right? A post-game wrap-up. At
Right.
the end of the game, locker room, coach talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, and he leave you with something to focus on going into the next battle or the next week of practice. And so you take your time and think about your post-game wrap-up. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to go first today because I got one that's pulled up. And like OG said, sometimes it's coming right off. Sometimes we freestyle them. Sometimes we find something. And I find myself often like screenshotting things, right? Especially during that COVID era and like right before it, because that's when Instagram was still pretty solid, before Nipsey passed. Right before Nipsey and Kobe passed, it was still a lot of like it wasn't that crazy shift yet. And so a post that I saw that was, I think it relates to us specifically. To be a risk taker, you got to be comfortable making decisions behind a haze of uncertainty. You know that you don't know all the answers or even all the questions. You make a call and you let it play. You become a better risk taker by asking more questions, better questions, and filling in the gaps with help from others. And you need experience, sets and reps in your domain so that muscle memory kicks in when presented with a risky proposition. And so the uncertainty behind putting up $90K of your own money and not being sure about what's going to happen next, right? But you put in the reps by beating the street, knowing that I'm not going to put the $90K up and then sweat about it and sleep and be like, yo, it's not working. It's like, all right, the money did. Now I got to go back to what I know, which is feet on land.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Like, if you want to be somebody that lives an extraordinary life of freedom, because we buying time. We not worried about the money. We worry about the time to do what we want. You got to take those risks, and you got to be comfortable with that uncertainty. And it's okay to feel it. OG talk to me all the time, clear as day, and be like, I don't feel the security I need to feel. Sometimes you just got to say that. Don't mean you're going to stop working.
Yeah.
Don't mean you're going to stop working. You know, he tell me that. Then he tell me, look, this is the 13 things we need to work on right now to get to that. Because we know as hoopers that you had a bad shooting night the next night, you know how to fix it.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's my post-game wrap-up for today.
I like that.
Yeah,
And
that's dope.
What I was going to say is something similar to what we've talked about today, and a lot of it is inspiration from you, you know what I'm saying, in terms of where you came from and where you are now. And of course, you have a long way to go because that's what you aspire to do.
Right.
But you've come a long way from a kid from Philly that was in and out of the mix, if you know what I mean. And by you coming over here, never been to the Middle East before, and just understanding that it's a new challenge and an opportunity, and then coming over here and settling into the community, and then chasing another dream. Yeah. You know, and going pretty far, man, is inspiring to me. And for those out there, it's like it's not where you're from, it's where you at and what what you make of it. And you come over here, you didn't complain. You thought you were going to Abu Dhabi City, and you went to Al Ain, and you made the most of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to understand. It's not where you're from, it's where you at and where you're going to go.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Hold on.
Yeah. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? Man, my post. First of all, man, thank you two gentlemen. Like, I think this was dope. This is probably one of my favorite podcasts I've done. You know what I mean? Like, period in life. You know what I mean? It's good to just talk about the things that we've been able to talk about that I won't be able to, like, you guys understand. You know what I mean? But it's hard to connect with people that understand, like, the environments that we come from. Everybody's hard is hard. Everybody's struggle is struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing that I don't want to take away from anybody else who, you know what I mean, who hasn't been through the things that I've been through. I know their hard is hard. You know what I mean? So understanding all that, man, you brothers inspire me more than you know, like, cause I've been tapping in with y'all, like, for real, like, I've been like watching it, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, who these American boys like coming in, they doing, you know what I mean? Yeah. They doing their thing, and I was like, yo, I'm glad we was able to like just sit down, tap in. I love the game that y'all dropped today, like, for real, like, it just opened up my eyes to like a whole different perspective, because I always come from music, and to hear it from a sports perspective, brings me back to like what my first love was basketball. Sports, you know what I'm saying? It's basketball, my first love, and then football secondly. You know what I mean? So just hearing things from that, you know, perspective has been dope, man. You know, so thank you guys, man.
That's love, man. Thank you, and again, we had our meeting before this. This won't be the last.
Yeah, no, we locked in.
You know what I'm saying? The worst thing that these people did was close the door on us. Because what that ended up making us do is do everything on our own, and now who we need is starting to come around. And it's going to be really tough for you guys. I keep saying it. Ho said, set the price on them.
Yep.
I'm telling you, King. Their retirement gonna be nice. It's at the price. But BTG Nation, you know what it is. It's episode 21. Who Mountain Dubai, Who Mountain DXB, Who Mountain.AE. You know we're around. Our bump and run crew is growing. So anybody that wants to come bump, Mondays and Thursdays, you send a message. We'll approve you first. You got to get approved, but it's welcome. It's community. It's love. You guys know how we get out of here. Keep it real, keep it simple, and keep going.
Player and coach, the brother to brother. They both got views that you need to discover. From sports, current events to just life talk. Whether you on a fast break or a nice walk, gotta tune in. You already know, G. This BTG Nation and you one of the homies. Just tune in. You already know, G. BTG Nation, the other ones in the nosebleeds.